Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage to say a few words about Mika, Mr. Jamie McLennan.
Thank you, Brendan. Good evening, everyone. I'm beyond honored to share this night with all of you to celebrate an amazing person and my friend, who we all refer to as Kipper. I will say on a personal note, it's a little bit weird for me to be actually on the ice during a game or any type of amazing event. For many years, I witnessed those happenings from that spot on the bench right there. So you have to excuse me if I'm caught up in the moment and soaking it all in of getting some attention while representing the Flames. This is definitely a first. Mika Kiprusoff, the man of mystery, the legend Kipper. From the moment I met him, I knew he was special. If I had to sum him up with one word, he was cool. To beginning the 03-04 season, the goalie tandem was Roman Turek and myself. And with Roman getting injured long-term early that season, and Daryl obviously not wanting to flush the season down the toilet, having to rely on me stopping pucks nightly, he wisely traded for Mika, who had a history with him from San Jose, and promptly gave him the pathway to become, in my opinion, one of the greatest goaltenders in the history of the game. When Kipper walked into the room, I met him for the first time. He had this aura, an energy about him that we all just gravitated to. His demeanor, that quiet energy, the way he carried himself in a humble but confident way made you just believe he had that it factor. And then watching him in practice and play, we knew it was another level. Witnessing up close and personal him becoming a star right before our eyes was inspirational. During that season, he seized the opportunity, took off, and never looked back, leading that team to the Stanley Cup final, arguably the Stanley Cup championship. It was in. Jelly, you know it was in. But let's not focus on that mishap. Let's focus on the brilliance of Kipper, and that's what it was. Kipper became a mainstay in the crease for 9 years as one of the league's best. 7 straight years of 70-plus games a season was an unbelievable feat given how hard and physical the position is. Side note, I want to point out how lucky Flames fans are to have gone from Mike Vernon, an absolute legend, then to Mika, and then to Jacob and Danny. You've really been lucky to witness greatness for so many years between the pipes. Yes, there may have been a dud or two squeezed in there, the Jamie McLennans of the world, but the rare pain of having to suffer through a McLennan start was well worth watching those legends work for years, so that's still a great trade-off. I get asked all the time how Mika was able to play 70 games a season, year after year. Kipper was the ultimate pro. His preparation was second to none, but it was his unique preparation is what made him the best. Now, every athlete prepares differently. Most players are all about weights and cardio, muscle mass, stuff like that. You look at Iggy. Iggy was ripped. He had muscles everywhere. Even his eyebrow and his forehead had muscles. Same with Robin. Robin was super buff, all jacked up with muscles that even spilled over to his ears. Connie's tongue had muscles as well. He talked more than me, which was tough to do. With Kipper, it was what he needed to play 70 games a season. A lot of times I feel like people embellish stories over time. With Iggy, it was the shift. Over time, it became larger than life. When you hear the story now of that shift, it was 5 minutes long. He attacked their bench, slashed the coach, fought the mascot, had 10 guys on his back, and then helped Saprikin score that OT goal in Game 5 of the Cup final. Now, somewhere in my mind, I believe all of that happened. Just not in the 90 seconds of arguably Jerome's greatest work, which was brilliant. But when it comes to Kipper and the stories, they stay the same. He trained to be the best goalie in the world, and from a talent perspective, he was perfect. He was big, he had a great glove hand, unreal movement and flexibility, off the charts hockey sense, and reads calm and unflappable. He just was the perfect goaltender. He was known to stretch for hours to maintain his flexibility. We all witnessed it every day. He would be in the gym, in the spider web, in the splits, working at it. Guys would be icing, taping their sticks, showering, talking to the media, and heading home, and he'd still be stretching. I remember flying to Finland to train with him when I was the goalie coach, and I spent a week over there making sure he was on track for the upcoming season, also just continuing to build our relationship. One night he took us out, we went for a nice dinner, a few drinks, and it might have been a little later than we wanted to, but no problem. Kipper was the ultimate professional. The next morning he said, let's go for a bike ride. 40 minutes of cardio. I thought, wow, this guy's committed. So he comes out of the garage with a couple bikes and we take off down the road to get our workout in. Now the road has lots of twists and turns and a little bit of hills and valleys. And at the end there was this big hill. So I was ultra focused on trying to keep up with this highly tuned athlete. The hill seemed to go on forever. I was working as hard as I could, standing up on the bike, trying to get this thing up the hill, sweating profusely. And near the top, Kipper just blows by me. And all I could think to myself is, God, this guy's dialed in an unbelievable shape. So as I lumbered to get up to the top, he was waiting for me. I rode up, drenched in sweat, and I looked and he did not have one drop of sweat on him. He wasn't even breathing heavy. He just had this smile on his face and said, mark me down for a 40-minute bike ride. And he started his moped up and drove away. I guess I wasn't paying attention to the fact that he was driving an electric bike. So maybe his training wasn't that impeccable, but he certainly made it fun. And that was the sense of humor that made him the complete package. From starting a rumor in the room that Roman Hammerlick had stolen all the free t-shirts that Dion had laid out for the sponsor, by taking them and stuffing them into the arm of his coat and then promptly telling everybody, I saw Hammer do it. To messing with Depot, the kingpin of trainers, who again started the rumor that he bought a guinea pig with one eye because it was half price. We're on a 2-game road trip one time, and some guys, they only bring one suit and a couple shirts, and Jay Bouwmeester's suit, his coat was just sitting there, so Kipper decided to rip one of the arms off of it. So when we got onto the bus to fly out, Bo did not have a suit coat on, and he was glaring at me, telling me I owed him money. I had no idea what he was talking about, because I didn't realize Kipper had told him he thought he saw me do it. So regardless of what was going on, he still was able to maintain that brilliance. I remember playing at Chicago one night, and Chicago was a serious rock star team. And they had this goal song by Chelsea Dagger. When the goal would go in, the crowd would be into it. You'd hear this da 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 da, and the crowd would be just going nuts. So we had an off night. They tuned us up pretty good. And I want to say the score was like 7-1, something like that. It got ugly. They ran us out of the building that night. And it happens so that you get on the plane, no problem. Things are pretty quiet. Guys are pretty somber. And I walked back to Kipper's seat to check on him once we got airborne. And I asked him how he was doing. And with a little smile on his face, he just leaned over and said, da 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 da. Right? Now, right then, I knew he was fine. Nothing ever bothered him. Good or bad, he always found the right balance. And that's what made him so brilliant all those years. It's been a great week here in Calgary, getting to spend time with so many old teammates and friends, and the Flames organization has really done a first-class job. Thank you so much. Now, over the course of the week, I've been asked so many times to single out one moment, one game, one save that best defines Kipper and his greatness. And I've come to realize it's just not possible. His career is best defined by his complete body of work. It's a combination of thousands of moments, thousands of saves, and so many games that just became routine for Mika, and we probably just took for granted. Sitting on the bench right over there, backing him up, I would envision myself in the net during the game, going through what he was going through, facing the shots, battling the traffic. I would analyze it, he would make a save, and I would chuckle to myself and say, that would have 100% gone in on me. Too many times, actually, to count in my head, and the goal total would go up, and that of any normal goaltender in the net. But it wasn't a normal goaltender in the net. And over time, we just became accustomed to a level of excellence, night in and night out, that he would deliver. Kipper, it's been an awesome career. I'm so proud to have been along for the ride. I just want to thank you and your family, Sadie, Aro, Oscar, Marco, Luca, for allowing me to be a part of it. I'm beyond honored to be your friend. Now I better get out of here. My time's up, and I see Daryl's over there. I'd hate for him to have to pull me one last time from this ice surface.